When I think of traditional, I think of clean and solid line work, solid shading. Like you embody it while also having your own Katie style, which I think is the goal of any artist, is to create their own style while also being technically correct.
I'm really proud of the tattoo that I did because they were letting America vote on their favorite tattoo done at the live finale, cool. And mine won, which I was stoked on. Yeah.
I think that says a lot about what a cool job and what a good career it is to have. What's up, guys? Colton and Deanna here for another episode of the podcast. Sorry, it's been a while. We've been super busy. It's a really exciting time here at Eden. Things are crazy. There are a lot of fun things happening, which is great. It means life is really good, but unfortunately it does leave us a little bit less time for stuff like this, which, it's just us doing the show. So, we do all the recording, editing, producing, marketing, whatever. So it is a lot of fun, but it is very time consuming. And we've had to put stuff like this just kind of on the back burner a little bit.
Yeah, and we have Katie on the show, which I'm so excited about. She's stayed with us at Eden, and we've already gossiped, talked about prank phone calling people, and hot sauce variations. So yeah, we're excited to talk more with her.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be back with even more episodes soon. We've got some really exciting guest artists coming in here in the near future, and we still got to talk about Deanna's most recent appearance on Ink Master. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate your continued support, and yeah, talk to you soon. So what was your podcast about?
That was part of the problem as to why I didn't get uploaded. I was like, we need to figure out what's the theme? What's the point? Why would anybody want to listen to it? And it ended up being me and one of my besties, and we were just like talking about a variety of things. So some of it would be like what it's like being a working mom. It was really just like an overall lifestyle thing. It was like two working moms and their opinions on things. Yeah. And she's a hairstylist, so she and I, because I'm a tattooer, we like have mutual situations, similar situations that we find ourselves in, as far as just whatever shop stuff, salon stuff. So we would talk about stuff like that.
Yeah. Was it fun though?
I thought it was really fun. Honestly, the annoying part was just like editing.
Yeah, it is kind of a pain in the ass.
It's like a whole thing. Yeah, it would take me a long time, and I'm like, I would prefer if we could just do like maybe like Joe Rogan style. I feel like if he does editing, it's very light. Like I feel like he just
kind of turns it on and will
and then just does the thing. Like that would be my preference.
My preference would be just to have somebody else do it.
Just somebody else fucking do this.
But I'm so glad Colton does all the work.
Well, that's what we've done mostly, is just like turn it on and go. Like hardly ever do I have to like cut stuff or edit stuff out. If we did video, that would be very challenging, I feel like, because I don't normally have to like cut and like add stuff, but if we had to do a video, then obviously I would have to like sync up the video clips and everything like that, and yeah, that would be a real pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. Yeah. And y'all already work a lot.
Mostly Deanna.
Aw, for sure. It's a joint effort for sure. I've witnessed it. I've been guest spotting, so I see it.
Oh my God, we've loved having you guest spot. Everybody is obsessed with you and your outfits.
Oh my gosh.
All the time.
That's very nice.
I wish you brought your cow outfit though.
I know. I feel like it's kind of a short dress, and I feel like sometimes I'm spread eagle a little bit while I'm tattooing. I don't know. I could just wear biker shorts underneath it. Maybe I'll wear it next time. It's kind of my special occasion dress.
I mean, we're serving the people, right? Like we're in the service industry.
Biker shorts, cow dress. Yeah, I'll make it work.
Get the tips.
I'm in it for the tips. Yes.
How often do you do guest spots?
So I was doing guest spots before COVID, but even then it wasn't all the time. Yeah. I've done maybe like a total of 5 ever. So not very many. I've worked several conventions, but I haven't really done that many guest spots. I feel like I was just telling Deanna, I feel like they're more intense than working a convention because you've got tattooers
Really
that are
more
able
intense?
to. I think so, but for different reasons. I mean, conventions are intense because it's depending on the show, so many people, and just dealing with all of that. But when you're doing a guest spot, like I'm really wanting to observe like the flow of the shop, the vibe. I'm like, should I be like loud and crazy up in this, or would that be obnoxious?
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And then also, everyone that works at your shop is so good. They're so talented and so nice. And so there's like really good tattooers that are watching over me and for like a long period of time. I feel like usually at a convention, like I would get tattooers and they'd be watching me for a little bit.
Do a walk by.
But yes, but it's like they'll stay for some time, they'll look, and then they'll like move on to the next. But it's just more of an intimate setting doing a guest spot, which is a beautiful thing. But there's it's like a little bit more intense, I feel.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's something to be said about like a convention's more of a group environment in the sense that like everyone's experiencing something new together. But like if you go to somebody else's shop, then you're like, you know, you're the guest. It's like going to a party at somebody's house or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's so true.
I would just think that, I don't know. I've only done like 2 conventions with the shop, but they were both pretty stressful. I feel like they'd be more stressful than guest spots.
I could see that though. I feel like there's a real argument for that for sure. I mean, it's a lot just even traveling at all as a tattooer, like all the stuff that you have to bring and making sure, and sometimes like,
especially as a color artist.
Oh my God. I mean, obviously y'all saw my inks. They fucking exploded
Katie's
in the bag.
bags are completely red with red ink. You can't even tell there's ink in there.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like my bags too whenever I travel.
Well, I've bought like
a pressurizing box.
No. What?
That's a thing, right? That you can buy
like we should get, there's like little boxes that you get from Home Depot that like are supposedly good for inks not exploding.
How many bottles of ink does a box hold? It's like a small
sizes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My solution was to just buy a travel set of the 1/2 ounce bottles of ink or whatever, just for each show, and then just like toss it. But it's kind of wasteful, and then I don't know. It's like
she got money.
But it's like everything explodes, and I'm like, maybe this time will be different. Why would it be different? Like it wasn't. All my ink still exploded flying to Dallas.
You use like the little like bottle condoms.
I've seen that's just like I don't know. I'm just. So
I don't think those work though,
that.
because your inks exploded too last trip.
But
right,
I have an apprentice though.
That's the key.
That's
the key.
Yes. That's the key. Just get an apprentice. So if your shit blows up, it doesn't matter to you. You don't have to clean it.
Actually, your apprentice, Cass, was telling me that she was cleaning some of your bottles that had exploded, and like by the time she was done, the bathroom, she was like, the ceiling had ink on it, the mirror had ink on it, the floor, like all of this shit. That's like how crazy it gets when you like the ink goes literally everywhere. It's impossible to clean.
And once it gets on your clothes, like you can't get it off. I think the most you can get off is letting it dry on your clothes and then like scraping it off with your nail. That's your best bet. That's your best bet.
It's like picking it off.
Yeah.
Like a pimple.
Yeah, Cass, I guess it happened like at Hell City, and Cass told that story about like cleaning it in the bathroom, and I just imagine her like with red ink all over her hands and mirror and ceiling.
Scene.
Yeah. Or it's like have you guys seen that movie Daddy Daycare?
No.
Okay, well, anyway, there's a scene with Eddie Murphy where they're basically, this is a daycare focused podcast, by the way, a movie focused podcast, but okay, but there's a scene. Basically, Eddie Murphy runs a daycare for kids out of his house, right? And so there's a scene where there's this kid who doesn't know how to go to the bathroom, like goes into the bathroom and then leaves, and then Eddie Murphy like opens the door, and the whole shot is just like on his face, right? You can't see what's in the bathroom, but he's like this horror movie music starts playing, and he's like looking around like, Oh my God. Like there's just stuff all over the
He's
walls.
looking
and the
around,
ceiling
but like
and
the
stuff.
funny
it
part is,
shit?
yeah, it's supposed to be shit
Oh.
everywhere.
Yeah, you can't see
So
like
the
what's in
funny
the bathroom.
part
It's just
is
his
that-
facial expression.
So the funny part is he's
No.
looking around and then he like slowly looks up to the ceiling.
No.
Like
no.
as if there's shit on the ceiling too.
But have y'all ever been to like a public restroom or maybe even just somebody's house and you saw that there
Shit
was
on the ceiling?
shit? I've not personally seen shit on a ceiling. And what if it
School.
was like
High
like a
school.
really high ceiling, like a vaulted ceiling? But like I've seen shit in places where I'm like, I don't understand how, like, did you wipe it? Did your turd fall onto that
Yes.
spot? Or was it projectile like shitting? I don't know.
I've
I've been impressed.
relate to this at all, which surprises me because first of all, I didn't even know girls shit. So
Surprise, surprise.
I'm surprised this is in the women's bathroom, not the men's bathroom. I've never seen that.
He's gonna divorce me now.
You know, Deanna shits. Oh my God.
No,
Everybody.
it's not true.
Deanna shits.
Babe, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. I've been keeping it for so long.
Actually, after dinner, she farted in the car and told me not to tell you. And she wouldn't let me roll down the window.
What?
No, it was weird. I'm kidding. It was me that farted.
I pooped in the same vicinity as Colton like recently for the first time in our
and y'all
marriage.
are married. Y'all are
Like this
straight
year,
married.
maybe.
Yeah. When we first got together, Deanna was like, I guess her grandma had this rule, like never go to the bathroom in front of each other, even pee, which we've since broken. But yeah, for the longest time, she wouldn't even pee with me around.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was until recently. Finally, after 3 years
Wow.
of being married.
Meanwhile, I've literally like changed my tampon in front of my boyfriend.
I feel like when you have a kid together, like
Fair enough.
all bets
He's
are
watched
off.
a,
Like
that's true.
Yeah, you've
You, like,
already
watch a
crossed
baby
every
come out.
boundary you can cross.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's been awesome having you in the studio this week. Heard such
thank
great
you,
things about you
guys.
from Deanna, just being on Ink Master with you and stuff like that. And it's been cool to watch you work and just get to know you in person. How would you like describe your tattoo style to people who aren't familiar with your work?
Okay. I feel like it is traditional inspired. I've recently been like kind of squabbling with how I describe my tattoo style. And I feel like when like some years ago when I first started really trying to focus on just tattooing more like traditional inspired tattoos, I felt like calling it traditional didn't make sense because like when I'm thinking of like really traditional, it's like the super limited traditional color palette and like certain subject matters and whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this like new traditional? Is it neo trad? Is it a different thing? Or like, is this just like girly illustrative? Like, I don't really know. So now I feel like I'm just like traditional inspired is kind of an umbrella term.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm using currently. That may change.
Yeah, we kind of had a similar comment. We had Bobby Johnson on the podcast, and we kind of had a similar conversation with him because like we would describe his style as neo-traditional, but like so many of these style terms are just like such big blanket terms, like neo-traditional. There's a huge range in there, or even like realism. Like, you know, when I look at Deanna's style, like it's realism, but it's also like it looks different. So it's kind of I think that's kind of a challenge, is like coming up with a word to describe specific styles.
But you know, I found it is good to try to give some sort of descriptor or label or something to your style of tattooing because it helps the clients in a way. And I mean that in the sense that like clients enjoy telling me like, I want to get this like in your traditional style or whatever. And so it's like it provides an easy way to communicate for people that are looking at my tattoos. So I'll try to say that on Ink Master, excuse me. I'll try to say that a lot on Ink Master, especially the first couple seasons that I was on. I was like, okay, I want people to understand what I want to tattoo, what the style is, the subject matters that I like. Sorry. God damn. Edit that out.
It's all the screaming that you did at people when you came in the shop. You're just such an angry person.
Always. No, but yeah, there is something I feel like when you are able to describe something like easily with one or two words, I do think that's good for branding and just making it easy for consultations and whatever. So I have found that to be a good thing. But yeah, traditional inspired, I like that phrasing a lot. I feel like it's kind of an umbrella term too. So it's easy.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense.
And the technique, like your technique is so solid. You like that, not just like the style, but just like when I think of traditional, I think of clean and solid line work, solid shading. Like you embody it while also having your own Katie style, which I think is the goal of any artist, is to create their own style while also being technically correct or kind of socially appealing to everybody, if that makes sense. And you found that, which is fascinating. It's a solid tattoo and it's your thing, and you see it and it's like, that's a Katie tattoo.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's so nice. Like it feels really good if somebody's able to identify a tattoo that I've done and can tell right off the jump. That's always like I take that as a compliment. That's such like a cool thing.
I mean, it's definitely like, I feel like we've talked about it in other episodes too, but it's definitely like one of the hardest things to do as a tattooer is
in any
something.
art style.
Yes.
To create your own style, I think.
To create your own style that people actually want to look at, you know?
Yeah. No, it's for sure has to be, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, especially since we go on Ink Master and like they've said like to the public on TV, like an ink master, person who is a master of ink, means they are good at everything.
Every style.
And it's like, no, like the goal is to be the best, right? To best at a thing, to have a style that you create that people recognize. And, you know, there's some people out there who like are fucking incredible at so many things.
That's true.
You know,
super
it's
versatile artists
versatile.
out there.
But I know, like, just from what I heard growing up, like Rember and stuff, like telling me like you want to be the best at one thing rather than being really good at a lot of things, so that people you can be known for something, leave a legacy of sorts.
Yes, I think that's so on point.
I think that kind of goes back to what you said about like being able to brand your own style or like having your own style. Like if somebody's like, I'm sorry, what would you like, what buzzword would you say your style is?
Traditional inspired.
Yeah, so
I think.
So like if somebody said like, oh, I want a traditional inspired tattoo like Katie does, well, they can't go to anybody else for that style, you know, like they have to go to you for it because you're the only person that does tattoos in that specific style. And I think that's really important, just as a goal to have as an artist, but also like as a matter of business. You know?
Yeah. It's true. I feel like business wise, it's good to have something that only you can do.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, how do you describe your style then? Do you have like
I say painterly at this point, because I feel like I'm not realism anymore. I used to do it, but I feel like I'm not realism anymore. I can't figure out any other way to describe it. Even like my even the technique I use, I came up with on my own. I didn't see that from anybody else. It was just a product of me playing around enough when no one's looking and telling me not to do something until I just discovered a way to do color. And I love painting. I love like the color palettes of painting. And so I apply like the color palette as well as the technique I use that looks kind of softer and painterly. It's so I guess that's the best way to describe it.
Painterly realism is what I've kind of been thinking of it as.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Because I don't look at a photograph and I don't copy it inch by inch, centimeter by centimeter anymore, like a copier. I take the artistic liberties and I tattoo it as if I were painting it.
Yeah, I feel like even
So
your
cool.
black and gray is like that too. Obviously without the colors and
Thank you.
tones and stuff.
And it's just how I figured out my brain works. And it's funny because I there was one mentor out of many that I had that was all right. And he actually works near us. And I visit him for the first time in years.
Wow, really? How
recently?
Oh, wow.
It was good. It was good to
Cool.
reconnect. Like things are good. And I used to draw with colored pencil a lot. And the way I would color with colored pencils is I would layer. So if I'm doing a portrait, I see a little piece of the face, I would probably put 10 colors in one area and crosshatch over on top of one another. And then I didn't even put two and two together until I talked to him. And he was like, yeah, I've seen your tattoos and we talked about how I do it. He's like, you tattoo exactly how you drew. Like you just layer colors on top of each other. And I realized that's just how my brain works. When I see a color, I don't see the color. I see the equation of how to come up with that color and the 5 colors it takes to make it.
Oh.
And so I just figured out a way that was easiest for me to figure out a color in a tattoo.
That is so cool.
That's how my style came to be.
What's it like to be that smart?
For real.
It's like all I see is color equations, but I can't do math for shit. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, who cares when you do tattoos
Yeah,
that look as nice as what you do?
No.
Oh my gosh. That's interesting. I love that you reconnected with one of your mentors from way back when.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I think that's so
nice.
cool to be able
like
to do that.
the only one I can I really say like my mentors were Frank and Rember because they taught me more than anyone did. But Joby was the one towards the end of my actual apprenticeship to actually get me to tattoo finally.
Okay.
For the first time in
years. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
So,
that's huge. Wow.
But I know we talked about the apprenticeship you had, earlier. I know you went through a rough start in your apprenticeship. You're actually the first person I met to have a long apprenticeship like me.
I know. I couldn't believe it. No one ever has the never ending apprenticeship. But I do think it's because I mean, like I was telling you before, I was just down for, well, I will tolerate however long this apprenticeship needs to be, like whatever I need to do, all the extra shit, basically like running reception, managing the shop. I was doing piercings. I was I was doing everything but tattooing, except for tattooing. But yeah, I want to say that I think according to the health department, as far as actual apprentice time, I mean 3 or 4 years, something like that. It was a while, and a lot of it wasn't learning how to tattoo, but it was just being at the shop and they needed me to do a million other things besides tattooing. So I don't know, and it was something that I'm like, I'll wait it out until I couldn't wait it out anymore and finally started doing it.
Yeah.
And what does that sound like? I mean, Colton knows my whole story.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
She was telling me in the car, I was like,
yeah,
we had the same apprenticeship.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's so
you
crazy.
can imagine they're probably beating themselves up right now, like the people who didn't teach you shit. And now
Shout out. I do wonder, and I think I was telling you this before, I was like, I wish that I did have, it'd be so cool to have a really banging relationship, with the people that, the first people that I worked with in a tattoo shop setting, because there are some really good memories, but it just didn't work out. And we left on such unpleasant terms, unfortunately, which I feel like is so commonplace in the tattoo industry, just being able to leave from a shop. And no matter the circumstance, if you want to open your own shop or work at a different spot or you're moving or whatever, simply just being able to leave from a shop, even if you try to give notice, even if you try to do things the right way, so many times it just goes sideways. Which
is so crazy because, I mean, I haven't been super involved in any other industries, but I feel like in pretty much any other industry or any other job, it's not a big deal if somebody wants to move on.
It's literally what my partner's sorry, it's literally what my partner says. He's like, tattoo shops are so strange. They're so peculiar.
Yeah.
There's not many other industries where leaving is an emotional breakup or a betrayal or whatever. So many other jobs, you're like, here's my 2 weeks. And then you just leave and do whatever
and they're like,
else.
all right, well, shit, we got to find somebody else now. But yeah, it's been awesome. Just getting to meet you this week, and we could have recorded the podcast earlier because I feel like we had some really awesome conversations just over the last few days. And
hot sauce.
The hot sauce conversation.
Mostly about hot sauce, but about other things too. But yeah, Katie's been Katie and Deanna, they've just been having sleepovers every night. They've been making prank phone calls and
We do need to.
gossiping.
I don't know if it's too forward or wild, but I would like to make a prank phone call before I leave.
I
teasing
suggested
it.
we can like prank call one of the other Ink Master contestants and pretend we're super fans.
Yeah. You guys should call Holly. This won't come out until after you've already done it. So yeah.
Perfect. Okay. All right. I like it. Uh-huh.
But yeah, anyway, I feel like I've been able to, we talked a lot about like kind of how your life is now, but one of the reasons we wanted to have you on the show too is just kind of find out how you got your start and how your career has got to the point where it has now, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude, I feel so lucky. I'm so thankful for everything. And legitimately, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I like actually like my job. I like, which is really like, I think of, it's a very special thing. And to enjoy going to work, even like the shitty days are not even that bad. Like they're in comparison. Come on.
You know what I thought of recently? I was like, I haven't been around the industry for super long, and I've only been at what I think is like pretty reputable studios, but I have never known anyone that's like quit tattooing. Like, have you? I mean, you guys have been around a lot more than I have, but do you guys know?
Actually, yes, but it was a guy. Okay, so the people that had apprenticed me, I'd worked with them for a bunch of years, and then finally was like, okay, I need like a change of scenery here. I went to a different shop and worked for this guy that was an excellent graphic designer. He had been tattooing for a bunch of years, but he really did not like the service part, the customer service part of tattooing, the interacting with people. And I don't know.
It can be tough sometimes.
It can be tough. I feel like maybe he should have just worn headphones while he was tattooing. Why didn't he do that? Now that I'm thinking about it, this was many years ago.
Yeah.
But, and he was an excellent illustrator. He had like a side business doing graphic design too and whatever. And yeah, I'd worked with him for about a year. It wasn't really a good fit for me working there. But so I ended up moving to a different shop. But he tattooed for some more years and then quit tattooing just to focus completely on graphic design.
Yeah.
And so he still got to illustrate and make art, but not really have so much one-on-one personal interaction with people.
And I guess there are some tattooers out there that have like made it like really, really big, and they've just taken the time to like pursue other things. But it kind of hit me the other day. Like, I don't know really anyone. And if you've only known one
just
person,
the one.
quit
No,
tattooing.
I think that's
I
a
never
really good
thought of that.
observation.
Yeah. And the other
thing.
thing I was thinking too is like, I've never met a tattooer that doesn't like tattooing. Like, imagine, like, think about how many people you meet just in any other jobs are like, yeah, my job fucking sucks. I'm just doing it until I can find something else. Or like, oh, the pay's good. But I've never met a tattooer that's been like, yeah, I don't really like doing this. I just kind of do it because of the money or anything like that. I haven't personally, you know? So, I think that says a lot about what a cool job and what a good career it is to have.
I love that observation. Like I adore that. That's so cool because it's so true. There is such a passion. Even like I've worked with like a couple maybe like negative Nancy's over the years or whatever, and they still love tattooing. Like even if they're like or down on whatever, they still love tattooing.
The only thing I've ever seen is like maybe somebody who doesn't like their situation, like they don't like the shop they're at, or like that they wish they got different clients or something like that. But I've never met anybody that's like, yeah, I don't like tattooing.
Yes.
You know?
Like, it's so true.
And for me, like the other two industries I was in before this is like music education, which like just about everybody quits that job at some point. And then being a lawyer, which not a lot of people do that, but a lot of people are lawyers and they hate it, you know?
Yeah.
But they just do it because it pays well. So yeah, that was just something I randomly thought of a little bit ago.
I think too it is I think a part of like a good, or at least in my opinion, I think a part of a good apprenticeship is teaching the person that you're apprenticing to like really adore and appreciate and love tattooing. And I see that I feel like a lot in even like crazy nonsensical apprenticeships. I feel like a lot of times you will still encounter tattooers that like love tattooing so much, and you kind of learn that even as an apprentice, that it's like this beloved thing, this craft.
Well, yeah, and I guess maybe part of the reason why everybody that, or most tattoo artists I met really like it is like it's hard to become a tattoo artist. And if you don't really want to do it, like you're not going to go through an apprenticeship. It's like you were saying about your apprenticeship where you were just like, you'll do whatever. Like all you want to be is a tattoo artist. Like that's the light at the end of the tunnel. Like if you're not 100% about it, like you're not going to do that. You're not going to stick it out. So anybody that is a tattoo artist, like they've made the decision that this is what they really want to do. They probably went through a lot of shit to get there. And
And even the ones who like have coasted through, like I know when I was at apprenticing, I was almost, a little like bummed out because the other apprentices that were with me like got more opportunities, it seemed. And I was told, there's a lot of things I didn't like, but one of the things that they said was, like even if they go all the way, they could become tattooers and they skate through their apprenticeship or whatever. If you're not putting in the work, you're only going to get so far as a tattooer.
Yeah.
So even the people who are like, I'm going to do this for now, like, it doesn't matter. Cause like, if you put in your work and you love it, like you're going to be the person that gets far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, it's so true. And there's a lot of work nowadays, especially there's a lot of work that goes into tattooing. I mean, aside from just doing the tattoo.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The whole service industry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, service, but also you're expected to be a photographer and know how to do marketing on Instagram and stuff like that. And yeah, deal with clients every day, service that. You got to make your own schedule. It's like, there's a lot of things that go into it.
Yeah. I do feel like you have to really love it because it's more than a full-time job. You go home, you post, you do all the things, whatever. So, and if you don't really like it, I feel like you could get burnt out easily, but I never really encounter tattooers like that. Maybe even if they are feeling a little burnt out, they're still tattooing and they're still going for it.
Or maybe it's normally like, oh, I'm burnt out on traveling, or I'm burnt out on doing this specific style or whatever it is. But yeah.
Right. Just time to mix it up maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, how did you find out that you wanted to get into tattooing, or what inspired you to pursue an apprenticeship?
I always loved drawing. I grew up drawing.
And did you grow up in Arkansas too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I grew up in Arkansas. I've always lived in Central Arkansas. And I would draw as a kid. I loved drawing all the Simpson characters and the Rugrats characters, just like any of the cartoons that I'd watch on TV. I'm like, ooh, I want to redraw them. And then they used to make, I haven't seen these in forever, but they used to make like activity books, and they would be like themed like Scooby-Doo or whatever. And they would have like redraw this picture of like Scooby-Doo, and it'd be Scooby-Doo with a grid over it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And then you would like look at the grid and redraw it. I loved those. I would do those all of the time. Loved that. And as I got older, I would start to draw portraits of my friends, and I kept like a sketchbook and would do that sort of stuff, but always just for fun, like just something that I love to do. Never thought I'd be able to have a career making art, being able to support myself making art, not on my radar at all, just something that I liked. And I thought I'd be a Spanish teacher for so many years.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was
you speak Spanish?
I try to.
Okay.
I practice. I'm lucky that my business partner is Mexican, so we practice. And then I've dated like a handful of Hispanic dudes, so that's helped too. But yeah, that was my major in college, was Spanish.
No way.
I did drop out of college. I went for 3 years, and I was in the middle of my tattoo apprenticeship while I was in college too. So I'm working full time, going to school full time, like doing the whole bit. It was crazy. So eventually I'm like, I need to make a decision. Like, I'm going to have to drop out of college this is just too much, because I want a tattoo, and I'm just like going to give up on this college thing. So that's what I chose. But I took sculpture, I took drawing in college too, but I really found that I liked drawing outside of a school setting, but especially in the tattoo shop. And I was hanging out in the shop when I was 18, and my friends were getting tattooed, and it just like clicked for me. I'm like, oh my God, this would be the best job in the world. I have to do this. This is it. Wow. So it was just like good timing, good luck. was an environment where I'm like, this is like, what would be cooler than this? This is it.
Yes.
So it kind of clicked for you like when you were in college?
Yes, it totally clicked for me. And I begged for an apprenticeship. I begged for a job at this shop, and I like hung out, and they're like, well, let us get to know you or whatever. And eventually they were like, okay, cool. And I was piercing, I was doing reception. Like I said, I was doing all of the things and just waiting for the time when I could finally tattoo. And yeah, put in some years.
10 years later.
And now I'm 65. And I finally started.
I've been tattooing for 2 years now.
Yes. A baby tattooer at 65. Yeah, it was just good luck and good timing. It's really crazy. Tattooing was not on my radar growing up. I didn't know, no one in my family had tattoos. I never saw tattoos. I just knew that I liked to draw.
Yeah.
So, and it just worked out really. I think that I would have liked to be a Spanish teacher. The pay would suck.
Yeah.
It would suck. But not that that's the most important thing, but teachers definitely don't get paid enough.
Yeah.
But tattooing, there's so much freedom in it. And like I cuss so much at work. I love cussing. And I have to chill out because I have a toddler. My boyfriend's like, hey, like I cuss a lot. But it's a very like free kind of job. And I find that really appealing about tattooing.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So you said they didn't really teach you how to tattoo, but how did you learn how to tattoo? I guess you were just kind of doing everything they needed to around the shop. I guess if they needed a receptionist or piercer that day, like.
So I actually traveled a lot and I went to conventions all the time with them, and I just tried to get tattooed by like good tattooers. And so I'm like, let me watch what these people are fucking doing.
Yeah.
It's one of the best ways to learn.
Yeah. So I was lucky and got tattooed by a variety of artists. So I have a bunch of different styles tattooed on me, so I could just kind of see how everybody's doing their different thing. And eventually, as years passed, I started to really like traditional. I have like a new school sleeve basically as like one of my first projects that I got tattooed, but I like several different styles, but I started to gravitate a little bit more towards traditional as time passed. But yeah, just watching other tattooers, really. And then also, I feel like doing tattoos is also like just the experience.
Yeah.
Trying to, tattoo a lot. But I do feel like because I didn't really have a lot of guidance, I hate to complain. It's like the fact that I even get to tattoo is just incredible. But I do feel like I didn't really have a lot of guidance during my apprenticeship. So I do feel like I did a lot of tattoos at the very beginning that were way out of my league that I shouldn't have been fucking with at all. And that would have been nice to not have been so ambitious initially with how much I was wanting to practice and the different things I was wanting to do. But yeah, just watching other tattooers and trying to get tattooed a lot, and just practicing a lot. I practiced on fake skin a little bit, but almost immediately went into tattooing people.
Yeah, so this would have been like, what, like 15 years ago?
So next year will be my 13th year.
Wow.
So 2010 was when I started tattooing.
Okay, gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah. So so how long were you like hanging around the shop before you started actually tattooing people?
Oh my gosh. I started working there in 2005 and I started tattooing in 2010.
No, really?
But I feel like initially when I started working there, like I knew that I wanted to tattoo, and I felt like that was kind of on the table that I could tattoo. I was initially hired, I feel like kind of like reception, like, I don't know, I just want to work at the tattoo shop sort of deal, with potentially the goal of being able to apprentice.
Yeah.
But I feel like I confirmed that I could indeed like get my tattoo apprenticeship maybe more like 2006, 2007.
Gotcha.
So that's why I feel like I don't really measure it from 2005 when I first started.
Yeah.
Though that was kind of like
I see.
like reception, probably tattoo, whatever.
I would say that's that's free labor.
Yeah, I did it eventually after, they would have me pierce so I could make like a little bit of income, which wasn't much.
Oh, they weren't paying you in 2005? Like when you started?
Not for,
Like for the reception work and stuff like that?
No. Hell
Wow.
no.
Wow.
No. So eventually, that's so funny because now that I think about it, I'm like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, fuck.
But like I would make my goal. I remember specifically in 2009, actually, before I was finally fucking tattooing in 2010, was to make $40 a day. If I could make $40 a
Wow.
day, then I could get my bills paid and do
Wow.
whatever. But no, eventually they did start to tip me out for like doing all the things around the shop.
Nice.
But even then, I mean, I don't remember that it was that much. I don't remember exactly
Yeah.
what it was, but yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of not making that much money for a long time, but I was also fairly young. So I was 19 when I first started working there.
Yeah.
So I didn't really need a lot of money. So I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever. I'll be poor for a while until I can finally tattoo.
Wow. Wow.
I can't believe like it's so ingrained in apprenticeships now that you have to practice on pigskin or fake skin. Now they have a pound of flesh and like you just went for it. And yeah, that is honestly like I think maybe the best way to go about it is like you really don't know what tattooing on people is like until you tattoo people.
There's
then
nothing
you
else that compares to it, really. I mean, like even the pound of flesh, the fake skin, I think it's such an incredible tool. It's great to be able to practice and get familiar with holding the machine and all of the things, but you know, like it's not bleeding, it's not moving, it's not talking to you, it's not, you know, like all of the things
Yeah.
which, you know, you can't deal with until you actually tattoo humans.
I've heard it even just feels pretty different.
It
Too.
is.
It's so hard for
Yeah.
me. It was, I mean, this was years ago when I tattooed one, but it was like difficult to clean, difficult to tattoo. It was just like
Yeah,
a
you gotta
whole,
really
Yeah.
like get it
Only
in there.
thing
huh?
that's
Yeah.
good is like now like seeing Cass and stuff like she got the pendulum motion down, like it helps you
Yes.
practice your hand motions.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, nothing is like actually tattooing people. So
yeah.
that's why I'm gonna get Cass to start tattooing soon.
Ooh.
She's nailing those skins now.
Yeah.
All of her designs look so good.
I
Like they were
know.
drawn nicely, and then I feel like that fake skin's hard to tattoo, but I felt like she did well with what she
Yeah.
was working with.
Totally.
She was so happy when you complimented her lines that she told me about it twice.
Oh, really? She
Yeah.
acted so cool. She was like,
Sorry, I'm throwing her under the
No,
bus,
that's
yeah.
so sweet.
Yeah.
sweet girl.
Oh, she's precious. I like her a lot.
Me too.
Yeah. So when you started tattooing, was it at that same shop that you apprenticed at?
It was with the same. Oh my gosh, no! But it was it was like within the same apprenticeship because I was apprenticed by these two people, and they decided they wanted to work at a different shop, so they were like, okay, you come with
Okay.
us. So we all left as a staff and went to a different shop, and so technically a different shop, but still within the same apprenticeship, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But that's when you started tattooing full time, is when you left that shop.
I wouldn't even say full time because it was like I would have my friends come in and do whatever and just trying to practice.
Yeah.
And not until I left from that shop and from that situation, that's when like the next shop that I'd worked at, I felt like it was just different, maybe a little bit more professional. That's when I was like, okay, I was starting to tattoo every day and
Yeah.
starting to build up a clientele legitimately, and I started to learn more for sure at that point.
You mentioned like apprenticeship hours. Is there like an apprenticeship license in Arkansas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Yeah.
there's a tattooer license too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
It's the same in Texas, yeah?
No.
Wait, Texas is like,
You
it's
can-
like
It's the Wild
crazy,
West,
tattoo
right?
anywhere.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember hearing that a while back.
Yeah, literally like the shop just needs to have a tattoo license. Yeah.
Wait,
So
whoa. Okay, that I didn't know. So wait, what? You don't have to have a license as a tattoo artist?
Nope. You don't have to have an
Anybody can
individual
do
license.
it.
You have to have a bloodborne pathogen certificate, but
Those are so.
I can go
like,
online and get one.
I was
right
gonna
now.
say those are
Yeah.
like, why do they even? Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's and for like, and it's nuts too. Like pretty much they just want your money. So like there are of course like stipulations that you have to have, like at like, you know, rules that your studio has to be set up a certain way or whatever it is. But like,
Mhm.
but like and yeah, COVID was going on, but like when we opened, like we didn't get a visit from the health inspector for over a year.
Wow.
So, and like we were doing everything good, obviously, but like if you don't get visited by the health inspector for a year, like anything
What does
could
that
be going
say?
on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
What does that say? They are a little bit more strict in Arkansas for sure. Though sometimes the health department is slow to come and visit us, but they do usually, I mean, definitely annually they'll come through.
Yeah.
And I do feel like they can sometimes be really strict when they come to the shop and they're like looking at everything.
They could be a
and
little scary.
yeah. But not having the health inspector come by for over a year is concerning.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and they don't do any like kind of like initial inspection or anything like that.
really?
Yeah. And honestly, like they don't even give you like a list of rules. Like I don't even know how you find it. Like it was just I just asked Deanna like, "Hey, what does our shop have to like pass, the health department?"
Yeah.
And she knew, but like there's nowhere really like online where you
To
can find
find-
it. Yeah, so basically like you just kind of find out when they come by and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got to fix this and this and this."
Texas is wild, man.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, Arkansas is definitely not like that. Everything's online. It's very like it's organized and you can tell exactly what's going on. I had to literally draw up plans for like the floor plans and stuff and submit it to the health department to show. There's very specific things about like lobby placement, restroom placement,
Access
like
to
all
hand
of
washing stations,
yes,
probably.
and
Yeah.
clients being able to see where you wash your hands. Like they have to see the sinks that you're washing your hands in, and they're very particular about certain things. Yeah, that's different. Texas is wild, but I kind of like that about Texas. Like it's kind of crazy.
We're not boring.
Yeah, you're not boring. That's for goddamn sure.
I think it also is kind of just like dependent on like what health inspector you get. Because I mean, like overall, I do think it is a good thing to like have rules to comply with to make sure your shop's clean. But sometimes some of the things that I've heard like shops getting in trouble for is just like doesn't really have anything to do with cleanliness. It's just
the thing that if you're dealing with a professional shop where aseptic technique is prioritized, like health department aside, like the shop's probably fine as long as everyone's properly trained and there's transparency about how things should be done. Because I mean, even if a shop's getting inspected and if they pass their health inspection, they still could be like a nasty ass shop, like when the health department leaves or whatever. But I really feel like that's the duty of the shop to, and I guess like the owners to make sure that everything is being handled correctly and that proper aseptic technique is being practiced.
Definitely.
I've been tattooed by some nasty ass tattooer. I got tattooed by an ink master judge that I won't name. I got tattooed by an ink master judge that I won't name. He's tattooed me a few times, actually, way before the years of ink master, many, many moons ago. And he was tattooing me at a convention. I'm like calling everybody out. This is so ridiculous. He was tattooing me at a convention.
As long as you don't use their name.
Yeah,
it's
it's not just figure it out who it is. There's only a few options. He was tattooing me at a convention.
It was Dave Navarro.
It was completely Dave. And he fucked it up. Dave Navarro was tattooing me. And Billy. No. So I was getting a body part. I don't even want to say what body part because I'm like, the people that know this body part, they're like, oh, he fucking did that. Anyway, so he was tattooing me and he answered a text message like with his gloves on, bloody he had got off of his tattoo, like he was tattooing me.
No.
Didn't change his glove. He wore gloves while he was tattooing me. Thank goodness.
No.
But got a text message. Was scrolling through his phone so casually at a tattoo convention, and then just got back on the tattoo. And I didn't say like what can I felt weird to say anything. You know what I mean? I just didn't say anything, and I'm like, I hope I don't have whatever, like all of the fucking I hope I don't have all the diseases. But I've seen some nasty ass things. It's just like it's all dependent upon the tattooer. Like, do they want to be clean?
Yeah.
Like, I hope so.
Yeah. I feel like most are, oh man, when we were at a convention recently, and there were like people coming around to collect the trash cans, right? And this dude comes up and I like with his bare fucking hands, like grabs a bag out of it. And then I told him, because it wasn't like a tattoo artist or anything like that. He was just working the venue. And I was like,
hey, that's bio.
I was like, dude, you need to wear gloves when you're doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, but I felt like that's so gross. I just like want to throw up when I see that. I'm like, ugh.
I don't know what that's about. Like why there's like so many dirty ass tattooers out there.
I haven't met that many, thankfully.
Oh, that's
Nasty.
good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
This nasty.
I feel like it's kind of old school, no? Like
To be dirty?
Yeah, to be dirty. It's like it's almost like I don't give a fuck. Like I
Tatting
don't
with your
even,
shirt off and sandals on and
oh my
chilling.
God. Yeah, no shoes.
kind of a G thing, though. I kind of like that, too.
I like the shirtless tattooers, I will say.
like that.
Especially if you're like heavily tattooed.
Yeah,
you're like,
I think that
fuck
looks
it.
cool.
I think it's cool. But if you're like, I don't even know what, like, if you can take your shirt off, but you still need to be clean. Like, still don't check your phone with your bloody gloves.
Yeah.
Please. I've been tested since then and I'm fine.
Katie's clean.
I'm clean.
I feel like a thing like people would love to know on this podcast is a little bit of Ink Master history, which I don't even know of, like why you decided to go on the show in the first place.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about that too.
Yeah. Can you also like give us this, like, just give us a Spark Notes version of like tattooing full time, like to like from there to the point where you could go on Ink Master?
The first time I was on Ink Master, I'd been tattooing a little bit less than, it was like right around 5 years, I think.
Because what season was it?
It was season 6, and I think that was 2016.
Yeah, because Danny, you were like, season 10 was 2017, right? Okay.
They like run through these seasons. They'll film like 2 or 3 seasons in a year. Like, let's go. But yeah, I remember feeling like I'm a baby tattooer, but I'm going to fucking do this. I've like always been way overly confident. Like, maybe I'll win, maybe I won't, whatever, but I'm going to fucking try it. But I did feel like a baby tattooer when I went on initially. And I remember too, I had at the time, it was 2016, I had 7,000 followers on Instagram.
Wow.
And I was kind of stoked on that because I'm like, okay, this is like just from, it's probably a lot of like a local following and whatever. And so definitely being on the show, obviously more exposure and more followers on the gram and all that. Yeah. But yeah, I did on season 6, I believe that was the last season that they were doing open casting calls. And so the person that I had auditioned with at the time, who was the owner of the shop that I was working at, he had auditioned a few times before. And the auditions like went kind of far, but didn't end up working out to where he got to be on the show.
What do you have to do to audition?
So with the open casting call, they want you to bring your portfolio. And you go through like a line of different producers and in different rooms and different spaces. And so the very initial, before you can so it's like you have to get through room 1. The person in room 1 has to think that you're like, okay for this show before you can get to room 2 and then like room 3 or whatever. So, which I didn't realize until I was going through the process. But so the first room that we were in, so we're like, oh my God, it was so good. We went to Austin to do this, and I decided on a whim. I was like in the process of breaking up with a dude, and I was like, I've got the time. Like, I'll just like go over a weekend. Let me do this audition or whatever. And then, so we like are in this like hotel like not the lobby, but like a room or whatever. Yeah, like a ballroom. Yes, exactly. Like a conference room spot. A bunch of tattooers have been there, like waiting to audition. I feel like it was like mad awkward vibes, if I remember correctly. That may have just been me. But yeah, a bunch of tattooers. And they called our name. I think I don't remember if I auditioned by myself or with Matt, but the first room that we went into, the producer looked through our portfolios, and no, it was individually actually, because another coworker went with us too. She looked through my portfolio and she's like asking me questions. I remember one of the questions was like, why do you deserve the title of Ink Master? And I'm sure I said something crazy or whatever. And she was feeling it. It was like a really quick thing. And she was like, okay, cool. And I went back out to the conference room and eventually got called to go into the second room. And I remember it was like either the second or the third room. They actually had cameras set up and they wanted to see if I was comfortable on camera or like what I would be like. I do remember making like a gross joke about having an orgy with Dave and Oliver and Chris Nunez.
That's
and
when
all
they
this
knew.
And they were like,
we need this
perfect.
girl on the show for at least 3 seasons.
Yeah, I guess that locked it in.
Like, she's gonna be back.
But it still wasn't guaranteed. So they were like, cool, everything went really well. Like, they actually were like, can you stay overnight and do one more audition on the next day? So we got a hotel room,
Cool.
stayed overnight, auditioned again, and then drove back to Little Rock, not knowing if anything was guaranteed or not. I was like, I feel like that went well, but I don't know. They said nothing. They don't know just yet. Multiple like Skype interviews, phone calls, and this was over the span of
After that.
talking to different people, different producers, all these different people.
Dang.
And this happened over a few months and still with no like guarantee. And then it was like 10 days before filming, they called.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And told us, similar to like you in the
Yeah.
season, right? Like you got the super short notice. They did the same thing with us. And I don't know if that was like, I don't know how they figure out who they're going to cast for what and the like notice of time thing.
But was everybody like that season?
No, that's the thing. And the same with this season too. Like everyone had kind of a different story on when they were contacted about being on the show. I feel like everything is so touch and go with reality TV and maybe Ink Master in particular. But no, some people had known for months and some people, there was one couple of dudes that were together from the same shop that got it was either a 24 or a 48 hour notice.
Wow.
They were
Oh
like,
my God.
they were like a super last minute like fill or whatever.
Wow.
So yeah, it was just all over the place. And after doing season 6, I was like, wow, I was really proud of myself because I'd made it 11 episodes and I didn't feel like I'd been
That's
tattooing
awesome.
for very long.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I haven't seen that season, but like what place did you get on that one?
That was, how many episodes were there? I feel like it was 11.
I think it was normally like 15.
Yeah, I think it was like 11
Yeah.
out of 15 or
Yeah,
something.
that's awesome.
I was really happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, I'll take it. And then I thought that was kind of a wrap on the whole experience. And then like some time goes by and they're like, do you want to do season 9? And I'll always say yes, I feel, unless the project is just like really fucking crazy. But
Season 9 was like Shop Wars or something.
yeah,
right?
season 9 was Shop Wars, which was a really, really tough season because with Shop Wars, there was a new shop that was entering each episode. And so we were a part of like the new shop, like entering cast or whatever. So there's like the OG people that started with episode 1, like similar to our experience this season where it's like the original cast and then like new people come in later. So obviously the new people are fucking hated. So that's what we had experienced. Like every like new shop that would come in on each episode, like everyone that was already there was kind of like, fuck y'all. So I was like, oh my God, that was really, really hard. I was completely by myself on that season. And the women and the men slept separately. So like all of the women were like clicked up, which is understandable. They all started like the season together.
Yeah.
And so it was hard to bond on that season. It was just kind of weird.
And how many episodes was that?
I made second place.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that was a cool one. DJ won, of course.
Yeah.
But we did the live finale and we had to tattoo live at the finale. And I'm really proud of the tattoo that I did because they were letting America vote on their favorite tattoo done at the live finale, cool. And mine won, which I was stoked on. Yeah. But so that was a great experience. And even agreeing to be a part of this most current season, I was like, damn, I made it to second place. And like, if I don't win, then that kind of fucking sucks. Or if I don't at least
Damn.
make it like to the finale.
Yeah,
So I knew that it was like,
we'll find out.
yeah, and we'll find out. I knew that it was a risk.
I did not know that you made second.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Isn't that crazy? I know. It's still, that's cool. Like, of course, it would have been cooler to win or whatever. But the America's Vote thing, I was so stoked on. I'm like, that really means a lot to me too.
Yeah, that's fucking
That
awesome.
should continually be a thing. But
yeah.
that's gotta feel so good. Like you have that recognition, like title or not, that recognition right there. And I don't know, just everything that you've done career wise, that's more than an Ink Master title.
Oh,
you know?
I like literally am just thankful that I even have gotten to do tattoos on TV, and that Ink Master, I do feel like, has done a lot for the tattoo community, and it's educated
I
a lot
agree.
of people, and a lot of tattooers are busy, whether they realize it or not, because of Ink Master and the exposure to the industry. So it's cool to be a part of that sort of project, because I do think that it's been really good for all of us tattooing.
Yeah.
Even the
Yeah.
tattooers that maybe don't like love or support Ink Master so much, I still feel like it's good for the industry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you enjoy being on Ink Master?
Yes, though it is like anxiety producing. The hardest, like the easiest part is like when I'm actually finally getting to sit down and tattoo. I love that, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of anxiety kind of wrapped up in it too. But I feel like anytime you're putting yourself out there and doing something that's really like challenging and crazy, I think it's normal to feel anxious.
Yeah.
I always feel anxious like watching the episodes. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I know before the season
Like-
premiered, Deanna was like so anxious about how she was going to look on TV.
I was very anxious about it. It sucks, but I'm honestly it's cool like that I got to meet you and like go on it with you.
Aw.
So, and it's neat kind of like watching the episode even like yesterday, like together, like watching it and knowing like, you know, having my friend see herself on TV like I had to. It's nice like just knowing someone in the same situation as you.
Because it is a unique experience.
Very unique. And
For
I think
sure.
even if you didn't feel that kind of like bonding in season 9, I feel like, you know, there's some good stuff happening, at least this season so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I enjoyed, I think maybe because we stayed in a hotel too, and we didn't have to all be roommates, like because
Yeah.
we had our own space where we could decompress. I feel like it was easier to, I don't know, bond in a way. And
Yeah.
like everyone's more like likable and in better moods when they're able to like go to their own like a bed that's
Yeah.
just to them, and also be in their own space a little bit. And I feel like it made everybody a little bit more chill and not so like crazy and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, at least for me it definitely did.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed everyone from this season, maybe with one exception.
Same, girl. Same.
Yeah, but I am really glad that I met you. And as soon as I returned home, I was like, oh my gosh, Deanna, like she's cool. And I was like, I feel like we like vibed really good. I don't know. I'm like
We
that. I'm like,
did.
it was so easy, like vibing with
It
her.
was very easy to talk to you.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
totally felt that way, which
Yeah.
was kind of refreshing, especially too after my experience in season 9. And that's why I was so bummed, like episode 2, like I was like, what the fuck is this? No, that sucked. And
Yeah.
then at this point, as we're recording this, the episode that just happened was Holly getting eliminated. So I'm like, literally my whole
Yeah,
alliance
your
and like
whole
my
God.
crew is like not here anymore. So what the fuck? Now I'm gonna have to be friends with Pawn. Cool. Shout out to Pawn.
You have to avenge all of us.
I know,
You need
I'm
to
like-
win it now.
I know,
But we'll love you no
exactly.
matter what.
No, and I did win. Like, I did win. I'm waiting on my check though. No, but I am happy to have met you for sure, and definitely to have the experience of doing the guest spot here and being able to post about it online. I feel like it's such an honor to be able to do a guest spot at your shop.
Oh my god.
And it's like a coveted, treasured thing. It's like a career milestone. Like being able to tattoo at your shop. And
Stop.
I know everyone that guest spots is like so stoked and so proud and like is so happy to post it. Can't wait to like post being at your spot. So
Oh my god.
no, for me, I'm like, yes, okay, cool. It's like another accomplishment that I like treasure so much to have like in my career to be able to come here. So thank you for the invite.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Thank you so much.
Well,
That
for
means
us,
so
we feel
much.
really grateful to have you.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice. Y'all, everybody's so nice.
You fit right in.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I do like whenever you come and visit my shop, do you want me to like tone it down as far as being loud and crazy? Do you want it to be more
No.
professional?
No.
Let me know what you need. I can cater to you.
No. Please do you.
Okay, cool.
Be you.
Okay, good.
I like talking. I like doing that. I
Okay,
like
cool.
That too. It's fun.
Something I love about your shop is it is like it's so tattoo and art focused as it should be. It's like such a professional environment. I love that the men dress nicely. Like it's so, as soon as you even enter the shop, it's like you immediately get like the concept. You understand what's going on, which is beautiful.
God.
Yeah, it's so
Wow.
good.
Thank you.
No, it's like mission accomplished. I love it so much.
Wow. Thank you.
Hell
I
yeah.
can't wait to come see your shop.
Yeah. No, that'll be fun. Little Rock. Ooh wee. Little Rock's gonna be like it's just really cool for my city for you to be able to come and tattoo. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And thank you for being on this podcast too and hanging out with us. You're
Yeah, no, for
awesome.
sure.
Loved having you here. Can't wait to see you again.
Yes, thank you so much for everything.
Of course.
And for the Torchies wreck.
Oh yeah. And what about my hot sauce recommendations?
Yes.
Now you're gonna get to go home and try mule sauce.
The sticker mule sauce. Yes, now that I know, I did taste a little dab and it was incredible. I had no idea. There's been a full bottle sitting in the kitchenette
Now you
of
can
my shop and I just didn't
Taste
know.
its pleasures.
Yes, now I know. Thank you. I'm so glad I came to Dallas and found the fuck out.
Gotta be worth it at least for that one thing.
Yes,
Worth the
I
trip.
agree. Thank you.
But yeah, thank you so much for being on the show. What's your Instagram handle? It's Katie Tattoos, right?
Katie Tattoos, spelled very normally and plainly.
The correct way. right?
I believe it's the correct way. I'm a Katie with a IE. Some people feel like the Y is right. I am in Texas. Isn't there like a Katie with a Y?
Probably.
Right? I don't know.
I feel like IE is the.
But
the
IE
more
is
common way.
Probably a-
common and correct.
A Katie
So-
Oh, there is a
somewhere.
Katy City
like
in
the
Texas.
city.
Yeah, that's spelled
Yeah,
with a Y.
I think
Yeah.
it's like
But this isn't that.
KTY.
Yeah.
That's wrong. So do it my way, which is KTID
Yeah.
and then tattoos.
We just outed all the
With
people
an
from
S
Katy.
at the end.
Yeah. Eat shit, Katie, Texas. JK.
But yeah, follow her on Instagram at Katie Tattoos. She does amazing work. Like if
Phenomenal.
you could, if perfect was a way to describe your
Stop!
tattoos too,
I will
that'd
come
be in there.
back.
Yeah, love to have you. Well, thank you guys for listening. Yeah, until next time.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.